Hi there, everyone. Erin Lee here of HeavenLeeMessenger.com, and joining me today is Bobbi Rowntree, born medium. This it is you. This is Universal Connections Oracle Chats with Bobbi and Erin. And first of all, thank you all so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure being here with you today. Really quickly, we aren't going to do readings on the show today, but we would love to hear any general questions that you have. And I have just been talking with Bobbi about doing her own mediumship show.
Yes.
So I would love to hear from you guys. Put up your hands if you would love it if Bobbi did her own mediumship reading show.
Well, we can't see them.
Yeah, okay, so maybe drop it in the comments for us.
Yes, this is Erin putting Bobbi on the spot.
Right? That feels like a really great song. Bobbi on the spot. Bobbi on the spot. Erin putting Bobbi on the spot.
Like a top, it's Bobbi on the spot.
Yeah, I'm seeing lots of oohs and yeses, and that would be great. So the masses have spoken.
The masses. Thank you, masses.
So yes. And then, if you want to do live readings with me, I have my show Connection with Intention on Tuesday evenings at 7:00 Pacific time on my Facebook page and my YouTube page, HeavenLee Messenger. So join me there. So Miss Bobbi, I'm going to put you on the spot again. Was there anything that was coming up that you wanted to make sure we talk about this week?
Oh, golly sakes, because it's been such a weird week.
Yeah.
There are so many things actually I want to talk about for this week in there because it was such a bizarre week for everything. And I don't know if there's anything absolutely in particular. I would actually rather everyone, because we do have a question on the table already.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's go through. We'll say hello to people. We'll kind of get a feeling for where people are. And we do have our question that came in separately.
Mm-hmm.
Bobbi and I haven't really had a chance to talk about this yet. We've had a couple of questions that have come through like before the show that we just incorporate into the show. Does that work for you guys? Is that something that you would like us to do, to have a spot where we take your general questions? These wouldn't be questions for readings, and we throw it into the pot.
Oh, that's a great idea. So people can actually send us those questions at different times.
Yeah. And maybe we do one live and we do one that's come in separately and we just like pull it out of a hat. What do you think?
That sounds like a great idea. Absolutely great idea.
I think it could be a lot of fun.
I think it could be too. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. So we'll just pop on and we'll say hello to everybody. Carrie, hello. It's wonderful to see you. And other Carrie, I love that. We've got two Carries right on top of each other.
I know, we have a plethora of Carries.
That's right. We're Carrie blessed, in fact.
We're Carrie blessed.
Yes. Carrie blessed. Oh, hello, Ruth and Verna. Thank you so much for joining us. And Britt, hello. It's wonderful to see you. Oh, and Britt's also got a question here for us too. Really interesting, because the question that we have lined up already has to do with relationships as well. So maybe that's going to be part of our theme.
It would be. Remember, we've always wanted to talk about sex.
You know what? This might be on the fly. Might be on the fly sex. Yeah. Hello, Lisa. It's always so good to see you. I'm so glad you joined us. And yeah, we're getting lots of the Carries are really excited about you doing a show of your own.
Thank you, Carrie.
Awesome.
Those Carries.
Yeah, both of them. Hop right on that. Hello to Krista, and Jackie's also saying yes, and Verna's saying absolutely, and Lisa's saying all in favor of growth. I love it.
Erin did this on purpose.
Awesome. And hello to Donna and Julia and Linda and Pat and Jerry. Jerry's, oh yes, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh, and hello back to Lori and Jerry. We're so glad that you're here. And Angie. Yeah. And actually, hello. Yeah. Oh, and
Julia. There we go. Julia.
Absolutely asking about dreams. Awesome.
Ooh, dreams are neat.
Absolutely. Rhonda, we've decided that today we're not going to do readings, but it sounds like we're going to be setting Bobbi up very shortly
Yes.
with some mediumship reading. So I hope that you'll join back for that. And if you have any general questions, we'd love to hear from you. Lorena,
And
hello.
yeah, sometimes we actually answer the thing for you within
Yeah.
the questions because you're here and they know you're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I can help but thank
Absolutely.
you, Erin.
Absolutely. I love how Jerry's talking about throwing everything into the pot and stirring it.
Stirring it like a bunch of witches.
Well, that always feels like a little mischievous too, right? Like just
What,
stirring
stirring
the
the pot?
pot,
Well, because you get in trouble for it.
right?
Yes, I used to get in trouble for it as a kid. My aunt would go, "Are you stirring the pot?
Yeah. But only one direction. Yeah.
Guys, I'm not cooking."
And hello, Cassandra. It's good to see you, Lisa. Oh, and Lisa's saying that she's with us today from How Is It? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, hello.
Awesome. And Audrey, it's so good to see you. And JC as well is saying yes. And hello from How Is It? And hi from Sue. Yes. Lori talking about growth. Yeah. Awesome. And we've got Ruth too. Fabulous. Okay. So I think that we've said hello to everybody who
I think
has
so.
joined
Yes.
us. So should we start off with the question that you received?
Sure, we can start off with the question from Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
I can generalize the question.
Yep. Great idea.
What is it with the men folk? And actually, I think a little bit within Jerry's question was, why don't they step up to their spirituality and things like that? And well, I think we can, honestly, depending on the generation of your man folk,
Yeah.
that's a big part of it. But we don't teach men they can do stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
We teach men they can't cry, they can't wear pink, they can't do the stuff. But women, you can do anything.
Mm-hmm. That's yeah.
We don't do that to our boys. So I believe that's why men don't recognize it within themselves because they're told they don't have that.
Yeah.
And I also believe that they're not taught that they need to give themselves the self-love and the movement for it because that's how you get your psychic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Is you spend some time with your little self.
Yeah.
What would you say, my friend Erin Lee?
I would actually absolutely say the same thing. And I would touch on the same points that you've touched on as well. You know, one of the things that I've been recognizing and realizing with the men who are in my life is I'm able to see how they are better or how they've improved or how they've advanced over the generation before. And, you know, there has been so much female empowerment movement where it's been a push for the last 100 years or so, a little bit more than that, where we've really been seeing it coming to the forefront. And we've really fought for that. And I think that this is kind of some of the balancing and the equilibrium that we're starting to see is, you know, we can't expect our men to just step right into it when they're constantly being suppressed and oppressed and told that they shouldn't. So I think that there could be opportunity for some compassion on the part of women with men in their lives, recognizing that that's where they are, but also helping to support them in finding the tools for themselves and recognizing that their process is probably going to look different from what it looks like for women.
Yeah, and I actually get told all the time to tell my more spiritually awoke clients that are male,
Yep.
you know, you're an example. You
Yeah.
got to keep going for your other danglers. Sorry, that's what I call them. I forget we're in public.
Right?
That's why I can't watch them back anymore because I'm like, oh, you said that. I can edit myself in the other ones.
And we're live, so there's no censoring. Like, it's going to dangle. So
it's going to dangle. That was loud too. So yeah. I tell other men they have to help each other because I believe my husband to be one of these people.
Absolutely.
Very spiritual man who is always, masculinity. Things like that. And he's a very masculine.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I would love to see, and I've started to see smatterings of it, but I would love to see more of it, are men's groups.
Yes, definitely. And
like
men are.
Yeah.
Like men's groups, don't ask them to be like women. Let them
Mhm.
all put face paint all over themselves and sit around a fire and go and whatever it is that they want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember learning something about, one of the ways that men communicate with each other is it is easier for them to communicate if they sit side by side and they're not
Mhm.
looking at each other
Yep.
because there's such a deep level of vulnerability where for women, like we get right in there, right? Like
Oh, you
face
get
to
into car
face,
accidents because you keep turning and looking at the people
right?
you're talking to because you don't want to be rude.
Right?
Whereas
Yeah.
men are, yeah, easier opened up when they're looking this way. Yeah,
Yeah.
watching the TV, doing the video, doing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I think a little bit's conditioning,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
although they are a little
Absolutely.
bit different than us in almost every single way.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Well,
are, yeah.
I look at the majority of my clients are women, but I do have this really incredible and amazing set of clients who are in their 20s and 30s, and they're
Mm,
primarily men. And it is absolutely incredible and amazing to see that they are like stepping into it, coming into it when we talk about, like future moving forward. Like I'm
yeah,
seeing it happening in that younger generation. And yet, even though they are incredibly supportive of each other and well versed in being vulnerable and coming into vulnerability, often they will still shut their video off when we're talking because it's not comfortable. So I think,
oh,
creating space
interesting.
for that too.
Yeah, yeah, the younger ones are different than the ones in their 40s.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and
Mhm.
then the ones in their 60s, that's a whole other ball of wax. I probably get
Absolutely.
more of them because they're coming to talk to dead women
Right.
than you do because they're not good. They wanna come to you and say, "Hey, I have this feeling inside of me." Which
Yeah.
is a difficult thing for a man to admit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Very, very difficult.
it really can be because there's so much conditioning. So, yeah, yeah,
We
being
need more
supportive.
spiritual leaders that are men, more people like us that are male,
Mhm.
and who can actually, and I don't wanna say speak the language, but to a certain extent,
Yeah.
possibly speak the
Yeah.
language.
Well, and recognizing that our languages are often going to be different. This is actually a really cool message that I often get in readings for people, women primarily, as that's the majority of people that I speak to. One of the
Mhm.
questions that almost always comes up is about like relationship, particularly if somebody is single and they're looking for partner.
Yes.
And one of the things that will often come up is that this person is a spiritual person, but they practice in a different way. So, for example, somebody who is Christian may say that I'll pray for you, and somebody who is spiritual may say, I'm sending you love and light and energy. The essence of it is exactly the same, but the words are different.
Yeah.
So, part of it can be looking to see how it's being expressed in a different way.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because
Mhm.
and men are different than women,
Yeah,
and we know that when we're married to them. And we try
absolutely.
to
And
talk to them like we talk to ladies, and that does not work out.
no.
You've got to talk, yeah. I actually see that as one of the biggest problems within marriages
Mhm.
is not just that because it's that well because I look at it from a woman's perspective.
Yep.
I think women kind of expect men to be like women
Hmm.
because what happens with us happens quite naturally. They don't have that same thing. You have to
Hmm.
just be you and let them be them, and yeah, and
Yeah.
accept the flaws that we're given. Oh, she said that.
Well, I was gonna come at it from a slightly different perspective, being somebody who isn't married, right?
Yes.
So
Okay.
take
Yep.
that as you will. I actually see the differences between men and women being one of the things that we can really celebrate if we allow ourselves to come into a place of understanding and recognition that we are different and adjust our expectations and
Yeah.
say, you know what, I'm not going to be able to talk to my partner in the way that I talk to my best friend who's a woman, but we find different ways. And it also means that you're probably not going to get the same type of support from your partner as you would get from another woman. And that could be exactly what you're needing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because your partner, if he's
Yep.
male, is most likely going to try to fix your problem.
Right?
Right away. Where your girlfriend's going to go, oh my God, that sucks. We hate them. Let's kill them.
Yeah.
That's what she'll do.
And she'll help you bury the body.
Yeah. If she's a good friend.
Yeah, right?
She'll always remember she did that for you. So you best not mess up.
Right?
Because she's a lady. Sorry, I had to drink my tea.
Good, good. I'm glad that you had your tea.
Have my tea.
Awesome. Now, I feel like, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
Not at this point, but we might have more comments within the folks, and then we can build on that.
Absolutely. That sounds great. I don't know where it is. I know that we saw it, but I'm looking back through the comments and I'm not seeing it. But we had somebody who was popping on who was asking about breakups.
Oh, yes.
Moving past and moving through. Yeah.
Moving through after a breakup. I
Yeah.
actually immediately see the cutting the cord ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I call it a ceremony. I guess because I did it for myself.
Yep.
But it's for me that is laying out, believing that your angels or your spirit guides are on either side of you to protect you and guide you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see an umbilical cord come out of your body, and you see the person's face or the trouble or the something that you want to not think about anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason, I pull out the knife and I can always hear it go, when Mulan pulls out the knife to cut her hair,
Right?
I always hear that. Anyway, and I go, and I cut it, and then I watch it disappear.
Absolutely.
I do it over and over and over and over because I'm a hard sell. Because you can't expect it to happen the one time.
No. Well, there's so many different layers to it, especially if it's been a long
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah. Especially if you had an expectation.
Yeah.
Within that breakup, then it can actually go, whoa, what now? And was I wrong? And blah, blah, blah. But also it can be, oh, I actually was trying to fit that square peg into that round hole so very, 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 very hard. And that you got it. Yeah.
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 Sometimes I think people outgrow each other. Sometimes I think they weren't supposed to be together in the first place. What do you think, young lady?
Well, I was going to add two things to that. Anytime I do cord cutting, again, like I call on my angels too, because I work with angels. So like, so excited to see that you are too in this way.
The big things.
Right. But I also like to send healing to myself wherever that cord attached. And I like to send it to the other person too. And the reason for that is that helps to perpetuate like the moving on process. So we're helping to like heal and resolve, and for that other person as well, because hopefully you're not wishing them any harm.
Don't do that.
If you absolutely can't, I mean, sometimes we're in the ending of relationship that is really abusive, it's really ugly, and it's not great. And in which case, maybe you aren't in a place where you're able to offer healing and support, and that's fine. You call on your angels, you ask them to do their work for that person, and you just sever and move on. But also, I think grieving is really important, and you kind of touched on this too, like when you're in a relationship with somebody, whether it's a romantic partnership and relationship or any like a friendship or any other type of relationship that comes to an end, there are things that you would have seen yourself doing with that person, like building forward, building life together. And suddenly that's not there anymore. So even if you're not grieving the loss of the relationship, take time to grieve the loss of the expectations that you had that you were going to have for your life. Because that
absolutely
might have been a really big change.
Divorce is so much like that. And I think partly with divorce, you have this idea. I stood in front of everyone I knew and said I was going to do this. And I couldn't. That's what goes on. Well, that's what went on in my head. And it was like a death. The marriage itself was an entity. And we were part of that entity. So I had to mourn the marriage and then go to because I was fine with the rest of it. Sorry. I had a very amicable divorce.
Yeah.
My ex-husband and I sat at the kitchen table and talked it out. And the lawyer part was just the thing the government makes you do.
Dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
Dotting the I's, crossing the T's to making it legal. But yeah, I agree with you completely. I didn't even think about that part. And it's funny too, because when you talk about the go away, when somebody's being bothered by somebody, I will tell them, watch them walking off into the sunset. Think about how much better off they are without you in their life. Even if they're a piece of crap, like if it's an abusive relationship and you got out of it, think, oh, he's going to go over there and he's going to, I'm not the right person to hit. this is better for him because this is a bit, not that only males are abusive, females are.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good point to recognize as well. Well, and sometimes people bring out the worst in each other. And just
Yes,
because
they
a
do.
person is an abusive person within an existing relationship doesn't mean that a different match won't necessarily be one that's loving and supportive. So
Yeah, yeah.
so that can be a hope too.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you can actually bring each other down with certain things like drinking too much together or doing something like that.
absolutely.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you just poison each other.
You start doing things to cope with the underlying issues. Yeah. So, sometimes finding the best way to celebrate the relationship as it was, the things that you've learned, the things that you've experienced. And if you're the person who is making the choice and the decision to leave, one of the best things I think you can do is to come to a place in your heart where you are ready to leave.
Yeah, yeah, and resign yourself to it. Don't force
Mhm.
yourself to do it.
Yeah.
Know your reasons and have them be logical, and run.
Mhm.
Running is so cathartic. I swear I ran my
Mhm.
divorce away. I ran and crying, but it actually brings something up. So
Yeah.
actually getting that adrenaline thing might actually be whether you run or
Walk
attempting
or
anything
some
else
sort of
or walk,
really good cardio.
walk real fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the exertion. It's bringing your physical and your mental, and then you can go. That's why people actually break down a yoga class
Mhm.
because it brings the physical and the mental to one point, and then they go. Whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah, they can explode.
Yeah.
I've
Well, and
had
we
many people.
definitely hold on to a lot in our physical bodies too. So
Yes.
movement helps to bring the opportunity to bring that up and to bring that out.
Yeah, and that healing energy. I've never thought about that. Healing the spot where the umbilical comes out of.
Yeah.
How have I never thought of that? That's why I have all these
We
bumps.
haven't had a chance to talk about it yet.
I know it was Erin.
Awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that one?
I don't think so, but if anyone has anything they want to, yeah, they
Absolutely.
can.
Let's do
Not
it.
that the subject is closed.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I'm just scrolling through the next question that I saw was from Julia, and she's asking about dreams. She's
Hmm,
asking if we can talk about dreams.
good question.
That's a pretty broad topic. How are you feeling? I'm kind of wanting to ask if Julia wants to ask a more specific question about dreams because we could talk for hours and not address what she's kind of wondering about. What do you think?
Yeah, okay. I actually wonder if she's wondering about whether or not your dreams are actually messages.
Okay, well, let's go with that,
That would
and
be
if
my,
that's not
yeah.
what you're wondering, Julia, ask us specifically.
Yeah, say,
Uh
no, Abby, you're wrong.
yeah. Well, not that you're wrong, but maybe somebody else
Maybe
needs
you're
to hear this
incorrect.
too.
Maybe there's more to it. But
Yeah,
yeah, that would be
yeah,
my guess, my educated guess.
yeah.
Okay, so do you get psychic message? Because I know with people on the other side, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you with angels and such? Do they come in the dreams?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and sometimes I get messages about other people. So I think I shared last week that I had a dream, a waking dream about a client of mine that we needed to talk on
Oh, yeah,
Wednesday at
yeah, yeah.
4, and she had booked later that day an appointment. So yeah, I'll get dreams that are like that. But
Mhm.
I also get dreams about mostly about stuff that's going on in my life that I need to address, or maybe I haven't seen something while I've been awake.
Okay, so your subconscious mind is letting you know your mind missed this, silly gooses. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when we're dreaming, when we're asleep, when we're dreaming, our subconscious is fully and completely awake and
Yeah,
aware, and our
that's right.
conscious mind is sleeping. So it's a
Yes.
wonderful time for messages to come through.
It's funny too, because I did not sleep last night. And I thought,
That's
oh my
good.
goodness, this is going to come up. I just know this is going to come up. I cannot sleep. But for me, the dream time is the time when I know for certain I have been
Mhm.
taken to the other side.
Mhm.
Because if it happens when I'm awake or even in a meditation, I'll be like, oh, well, you think that. So having seen the actual rainbow walkway in my dreams cements
Mhm.
the rainbow walkway to me. Seeing my dad on the other side is actually bringing up some other stuff that I'm noticing too now
Mhm.
because it's always twilight. And I
Oh,
don't know if there's any
interesting.
historians out there who want to talk about when it's always twilight and the green
Yeah.
children. there's probably not. I have been watching a lot of history stuff, and that's an obscure one, but that one makes like, wow. Anyway, look into history and you will see where we're anyway. Yeah. So it suspends the disbelief. And I always tell people too, if you want to visit with your loved ones, they're going to come in your dreams first.
Yeah.
Before they come, or you're going to have more substantial connections. But some people don't have any at all because they don't remember their dreams, they think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they think.
Well, if you don't actively remember your dreams and you want to, set it as an intention before you go to sleep, and then ask throughout the course of the day or the next couple of days that be brought back into your mind and your memory.
And it does in little pieces and bits and stuff. Like I'll suddenly remember them and have to go and run and tell the person.
Yeah.
Oh, you said this to me in my dream. And then I'll walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, one way that I often hear from people is the frustration that they experience because their dream and their sleep is being interrupted by messages coming through from angels, from deceased loved ones, from all sorts of different pathways. And so
frustrated by that?
Yeah, because they're not getting any sleep.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that was me last night.
Yeah, you need to have sleep in order to be able to function in the physical world.
Yeah, I call that floating above sleep.
Oh, okay.
It feels like you're almost asleep.
Yep.
But you're aware.
Yeah.
And then I'm not actually asleep.
Yes.
At least that's what happens in here. And then there's a whole angry thing. Yeah. And then it's a thing. Yeah. So yeah, that was last night. And I know you battle insomnia, and I don't know what the moon was doing last night because it was so overcast. No one knows.
It was, we had the new moon on the 1st. So we're still in new moon territory because today is the 3rd of April. So
okay.
Yeah. So we're in that new moon energy for sure.
Okie dokie. And that's the chitty chatty talky energy.
It can be. It's a really internal time. Like during the new moon, we're really encouraged to go into ourselves, to take time for ourselves. It's a really great time for meditation, for setting intentions, for focusing on the things that are important to you. So prioritizing. It tends to be a time when we are less social with people, but maybe it's a more social time from the other side because we are more inclined to do those internal meditative practices and things like that that all just opens
back
us
in your
up.
head. Yeah, and then chat with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Awesome. Fabulous.
Hope I was right, Julia. I could be incorrect. So let us know if we were incorrect, and then we'll re-answer the dream question.
Yeah, and we will see. Awesome. Okay, so I've got Cassandra here. I'm not sure how to say it, but here it goes. Lately, I've been feeling like I'm stuck in a rut. Like I almost got caught in a loop of not getting where I'm supposed to be. I'm not sure how to get out of this loop and head in the direction I should be. I feel a loss of purpose. How do you find purpose, and what's life purpose? Whoa, lay it on us, Cassandra. I love it. That's awesome. That feels like that's the adult equivalent of where do babies come from your toddler. That is awesome. I love it.
Oh, that's an easy one. Because you start answering it honestly and kids run away.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think very much. That's how I used to always start it. Oh yeah.
Awesome. So I feel like I've been dominating a lot of our conversation. Is there anything that's coming up for you for Cassandra?
Oh, because I've seen this before.
Yeah.
That sometimes you actually get into a lull when they want you to stay the F still.
Yeah.
It's not always move. Sometimes it's actually resonate. Be where you are, relax. And it's so funny because actually just before reading this, I started feeling stressed in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Because I start getting into the normal people thinking, oh, I got to go do this. Oh, I got to go do this. Oh, I got to go do that. There's not enough of me for all the things that I got to go do. But I still beat myself up over it. Yeah. But I think that's part of the, I gotta just be. Yeah. Yeah. And it could be actually for Cassandra that she needs to resonate before the next movement comes up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, the way that I see it is actually as plateaus. And I
Ooh,
think about different times when I've been on weight loss journey, and where the plateaus are seen as something to like power through because you're not doing anything. But I see plateaus as being a place of rest, a place of support, because we can't always be moving and on the go. Sometimes we just need to balance out where we are. And it could also be that there's a lot of energy that you're putting and focusing into one or two specific things, and possibly like the timing or the way that you are wanting to see it come about is not in your best alignment. And so that could
yeah.
be when you clear the slate and say, okay, what I've been doing hasn't been working for me. I haven't been seeing the forward movement. Do I need to rest? Or do I need to see if there's another way that I need to approach this? And in not moving and not pushing, you give yourself the opportunity to find that.
Yeah, actually, and if you look at it that way too, those plateaus and weight loss and things that got me to a whole
Mm,
different, like the set point, because your
right?
body actually has a metabolism set point. It
Hmm.
likes to run at a certain point, and you can actually bring it up or down, but it will always try to regulate itself to that point.
Right.
I kind of think that our minds must too
Yeah,
regulate to. It might actually even be that Cassandra needs to step it up a touch.
could be.
Maybe acknowledge something about herself, that something actually has changed. And that's part of the resignation. Just
Mhm.
sit down, relax, and see what's what, and to ask them what the next step will be.
Yeah.
And they will tell you. I have to ask them all the time. I
Yeah.
don't care how many saltwater tubs I have to have before I find out. God, I love my saltwater tubs. Highly recommend saltwater tub.
Yeah.
Dark
Yeah.
barrel, saltwater.
And anytime you feel like you're pressing against something and you don't feel like you're going anywhere, you're frustrated, and especially when you're tired too, because that often happens when you're pushing against something,
Mhm.
it's encouragement to find the path of least resistance for the moment.
Yeah, be nice to yourself.
Yeah.
Spirituality is all about being nice to yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah, you just know, not whipping.
Yeah.
Not saying anything about any particular religion where they whip themselves.
Yeah.
Do
Absolutely.
not see that creator, God, umbrella, source, universe goes, oh, yeah, do that. No,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
can't. I find that very odd. They want you to be nice to you
Yeah.
because the whole idea of punishment and defense and aggression is an earthly thing,
Hmm.
this place.
Yeah.
And we need to rise above this place, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Balls.
And I really love the last part of what Cassandra has asked here is, how do you find purpose and what's life purpose? And, you
Mm.
know, I believe that at the core, life purpose is the way that we treat ourselves and the way we treat other people. Um, that's my belief, and that everything kind of builds and stems from there. Um,
Oh, I like that because it's
mhm,
even because I can think of it as learning, but that's the same thing.
mhm,
Really, and the way we treat ourselves and the way we treat other people, you get that in your face when you pass away.
right?
The first
Yeah.
thing they show you, "Hey, you did?" And you have to feel how you make people feel. You have empathy. So
Mhm.
that could be part of the learning too. But yeah, I think this whole place is just a big learning curve, learning process.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's not the horrible place people think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can I offer myself compassion? How can I offer compassion to the people around me? And it's really interesting because when you start coming from that point of view and that perspective, suddenly things that may have seemed important in the past are no longer important. It's easier to make choices and decisions for ourselves that are positive, supportive, and loving to ourselves if we focus on compassion. You know, how
Mhm.
can I be more compassionate to myself in this moment? Well, if I take this expectation off that I feel or whatever, then there's
And big
opportunity.
things will do that for people.
Mhm.
Like the beginning of the pandemic, like a death. I know with a death, when my father died, we all just, "Oh, that's not important. This is what's important, and this is the blah, 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 blah."
Mm.
But you start to forget that until you have another death.
Yeah.
But that is it's fine. Yeah, it was when things go to crap, that's when the true realities come through within you. That
Mhm.
makes sense?
Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cassandra, thank you for joining us and for asking. And we're so behind here in the
We're doing
comments, but
fine.
a lot of people really enjoyed the laughter that was coming up with the balls.
The dangling. Only they sounded like bells, like on the
Right?
LA story. This guy had jangly ball. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
ding, boom, 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 whenever you dance.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Britt, sweetie
Yeah.
pie. Okay.
Awesome. So I don't know where you are in the comments right now, but I'm seeing Jerry, who asked our initial question, and she's saying my men, 4 boys, think I'm strange and weird, and my crystals are referred to as the gravel pit.
Yeah, mommy's rocks. Yeah, yeah. You're. But one of my friends calls it my psycho stuff.
Yeah.
Is it she? But yeah, yeah. You just
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You call it your gravel pit. Yeah, but you know what? Your
Yeah.
boys are going to end up having crystals when they're older because your mommy had crystals and they will have a crystal in their pocket. And mine, I just give them.
Yep.
Like, take this. Mommy says so. This is representing mommy when you're out and about, things like that.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
think I don't have kids, but I think every kid probably thinks that there's something that their parents do that's really weird or really
oh,
embarrassing or really awkward. And I think that's maybe part of a rite of passage as a
mhm,
parent. Um,
absolutely. You don't want to hear it from your parent. You want to hear it from your aunt or your
right,
mom's best friend or something
right,
like that because your mom's not
right.
because she's your mom.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No matter how
And
cool I think I am.
hello to Ba and Valerie and Stacy, and JC. Oh, I'm not 100% sure that
Oh,
I
darn, I was hoping you would know that one. I was like,
JC's asked to explain a star person, and you know what? I don't feel that I can explain that one. It sounds like Bobbi, how are you doing?
well, I have people tell me the
Yeah,
explanation of this,
yeah,
but to me, the star person thing is like the indigo child thing.
right.
It's a big blanket label that may or may not suit. And I don't know really if JC means Arcturians or Palladians
Mhm.
or because yeah, that's a toughie. But I have
I
heard that term before.
Yeah, I honestly I don't know enough about it to even try to have a conversation. So yeah, my
Yeah, I
apologies,
understand. Yeah,
JC.
we're sorry we cannot help you better on that one.
Yeah.
It's something maybe I
Um,
will look up.
Yeah, but you know what? I suspect that Tanya QC, Kucey, I think, on Facebook, I suspect that she will have a better understanding. And I know that she has a lot of content and information about different worlds. So I would encourage you to possibly take a look there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got Linda here. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining us. I think I can
Yes.
help you with this one. So Linda says, I feel like my brain is a pinball in a pinball machine. Is this normal with intuitive people? I wonder if it happens when too many are trying to come through at once and it sends my brain bouncing around from thing to thing. Does this happen to you? I heard you saying yes. Are you wanting to tackle this?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why you got to ground.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Otherwise, you're like, blah, 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 blah. But so many people actually open up from here to here
Mm,
and they forget the primals. That's actually what I call them. The primals
yeah.
are the earthlies
Cool.
because they're money, sex, and power, which
Right.
is what everyone's all concerned about here. But yeah, that gets the pinball. And sometimes too, because the way I am on here, I'm actually more calm when I'm not on here.
Mhm.
I'm not entirely more calm, but I'm more calm. Yeah, like I'm still a little cuckoo, but
Yeah.
I'm super cuckoo when I'm like yes. Like I have a really hard time. Like, I even have a hard time staying still. And that's because yeah, I'm inviting all the energy in
Mhm.
and it's coming from all sides. Erin
Mhm.
deals with much calmer situations.
Well, I definitely really resonate with this one too, because to me, this is a form of clear cognizance, which means clear knowing. So, messages and information that are coming through in thought and in ideas. And this is actually one of the primary ways that I receive intuitive messages and
Me
information.
too.
And it's like a pinball. You know what? People who are clear cognizant are the people that you want on your team if you are doing any sort of brainstorming exercises, because the ideas come in hard and fast.
Hard and fast. And we talk so very fast when we do it too, because we gotta get it out.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's so much that's there.
Mhm.
And Bobbi is absolutely right. Is grounding is really important. And I think for me, this is also a really big part of where rules came in too.
Mhm.
So like the types of messages and information, or where those messages and information come from. Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah, but who's giving them to you? Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you are working with people who were here and are no longer here on the other
Mhm.
side, they're rude. And they don't wait each other's turn. And if you don't have a mother there to block the doorway, because the
Yep.
mother's at the doorway, then it's like, blah, 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 blah. I have clients just talking to me, and I'm like, okay. And they're showing me everything as the person is talking to me. I'm not listening.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm hearing. But listen, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Speaking of grounding.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Make sure you ground.
Yes.
And one of the things that can be really helpful is taking time and space to get things out of your head. So,
Mhm.
I mean, Bobbi's talked about grounding practices, but I would, and on top of that, include like journaling practices, and meditation is
Meditation.
really helpful for helping to channel and to identify what is important and what is not.
I can't do
Um,
my job without meditating. Can you?
yes and no.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like before I connect with clients, I take time to do my writing, to tap in and to connect with them, and that's a form of meditation, because I'm taking the time and space to connect
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gathering it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Like
I feel like
that.
there was one other thing that was coming up. I'm hearing also creativity, like doing things that are allowing you to get out of your head, can also be helpful and supportive. And I mean, in a way, that's a form of grounding too. But
Yeah. Would you say that's like a doer, like I call them doer meditations?
Mhm.
Knitting, puzzling, things like that. Those are all doer meditations. So that could be too, because that collects it all.
Yeah.
Which is what you're trying to do when you're doing a one pointedness meditation anyway, and the point of meditation. Quiet the mind
Mhm.
and allow, well, they want complete,
Yeah.
but we're quieting the mind so we can hear the other folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the other things you can do is you can call on your angels and ask them for help and support in calming the flow so that you're able to digest it. I also want to mention, we talked about this last week too, but anytime you put a boundary into place, or you create a rule for yourself
Mhm.
around things, know that you have the ability to change that rule and to change that boundary as you grow and develop.
Because
So,
you're in charge.
maybe you only want to focus on like one stream of messages coming through, and then you become comfortable with that, and suddenly I could take on 2 or 3 streams of messages, and so you can open up even further. So
Yeah, excellent. Absolutely. I agree. I
yeah.
agree. And you can even say, if you want to be heard, shh, slow down.
Yeah.
Everyone takes
Nice
turns.
word of fashion.
Yeah. My brain, my rules.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks, Linda. And Austin's joining us on YouTube. Hello. Thanks for
hey,
popping in.
Austin.
Yeah. And Britt, you're welcome. I think
Me
that was
too.
a Bobbi
It
thing.
was the breakup one.
Oh, the
Yeah.
breakup one. Oh,
So we
awesome.
are sending Brit
Awesome.
much love and huggies.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
diapers, huggies, hugs.
No, big hugs, big warm hugs.
Oh, this is a huge one, and it's all you all the time.
Oh, you're talking about our next question?
Yeah, Stacey.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So Stacy's asking about Reiki. Yeah, absolutely. So Reiki is, first of all, it's at its most basic. It's a Japanese relaxation technique. It is a channeling of universal life force energy. So everybody has universal life force energy. That's what the key in Reiki is. It's that life force energy. It's the same as
Oh,
chi and as
I was just
prana.
gonna say, like, chi?
Yeah, it is exactly the same thing.
Oh, and
It's
yeah, prana is
it's
life.
yeah, it's key in Japanese. And so everybody, if you are alive, and everything has universal life force energy. With Reiki, what we do is the practitioner will expand the channel through which we receive key universal life force energy. And as we do that, we are able to give additional energy to people who are open to receiving it. And basically, when our bodies are in perfect health and well being, we vibrate at a vibration like this. Say, universal life force energy vibrates really fast. It's the highest and it's the fastest energy that there is. When our bodies are out of balance or out of alignment, then our energy and our vibration, it slows, it gets slower. And so when somebody is giving Reiki to somebody else, they surround that slower energy like this with really fast, high moving life force energy, which helps to bring your energy back into its optimal alignment, which allows your body to start healing itself and to come into balance on its own. So that's, in a nutshell, that is how Reiki works.
Ah, wow, that was very good. Excellent explanation.
Thank you. It's
That was
almost like I know about it.
I know. It's almost like you teach it to people or something.
Something crazy.
Because I was like, how do people from the other side speak to you, Bobbi? I'm like, okay. I don't know.
They're just there and they just talk.
I meditate and I say, hey guys, wanna talk? And boom, there they are. No, actually,
Yeah.
I just wake up. I go to bed. I just do. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they're messages, Julia.
Awesome.
Yes, she answered those messages.
Because Julia was asking about dreams. Yes, absolutely. Yes, and she also said thank you. You were right. So I'm glad that you led the charge on that one, Bobbi. So
Oh, did she? Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Awesome. And kind of going back to dreams, Chris is asking about any input on night terrors.
Ah, 2 of my 3 children had those.
Okay.
Yeah, and I found with each child, it was, they are somewhere where they can't see you, but they can see other things, and you can actually see the horror in their faces. And at the time, as a mommy,
It's
I
terrifying.
more focused on how to actually assist my child through that. But I did find with my first child, the way I actually got her out of her night terrors was to banish my grandfather.
Mm.
I found because I asked in my dreams to tell me what is going on. I wanted to meet with her there, and they
Mm-hmm.
showed him coming in and trying to love her. And he was
Mm.
just not a man capable of that kind of love in any deep fashion. So she saw the malevolence of him and would be terrified of him. That child, when she would go into her night terrors, I couldn't touch her. If I touched her, then I was in for hours of screaming. I had to just talk and sit at the end of the bed and tell her I was there, because if I touched her, I became part of the monstrous part.
Right.
But the second child, when she had it, I learned the hard way, touch her. This one needs you to grab her and bring her back to this reality.
Right.
Because she was back in a place that child, I am certain, she either died a prisoner before she came to me, or she had been a prisoner for a very long time. She was 2 years old and get up from the kitchen table and say, "Don't let anybody touch my food." Go to the bathroom, and I'd be like,
Right.
"What world is she living in?" Just couldn't put any restraint on her because she would scream and yell. And her
Right.
night terrors were a similar sort of thing. And I actually found that if I touched her, then and then she'd look at me, and then the terror would start to leave. And then she'd come back and start to go back into falling asleep. But I don't know if they're past life experiences, if they're just spiritual experiences that kids aren't ready for. But I do know they're very, very, very real. Please don't drag your children through them. They will go through them. It might actually even be a process of coming into this body that their soul needs to go through. Because at nighttime is when we download, the mind says, shoo, boom, and then the soul gets to come in and do the things it needs to do. So I think for both of them, I think for the second child, it has a lot to do with her past life. And for the first child, it had to do with the fact that she was the youngest and most porous person in the house.
Right.
So they all went, oh, well, Bobby's asleep. Let's get in there. And that's what they did.
Right.
some amazing things after she was done with the night terrors who would come visit her.
Interesting.
She actually told me that Jesus came and got her once and took her to fly over the world. She said, I had the greatest, Jesus came to see me. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what?
Love it.
I go, no, it couldn't have been Jesus because you want to think your kid wants to go fly with Jesus. That's good times.
Good
So,
times.
yes.
Good times.
Yes, night terrors.
So part of what I'm hearing is like creating boundaries and protection. Like you are a medium, and so you were able to identify who it was, and
yeah,
um
yeah.
and we're able to communicate to banish. But for people who might not have that ability readily available to them, part of what I'm hearing is like creating a safe space in their in their
Absolutely.
child's room or in the person's room, because we're not I don't know if we're specifically talking about a child with this one. So yeah, for me, I would call in angels, ask them for help and support in filtering out anything that is disturbing for the person, and again, recognizing that you can always change that as things move forward. I find it really interesting, and it sounds like this is partly because of like where the night terrors were coming from for your kids. But with your eldest daughter, did you find that communication was the best way to get through to her, like at that time, at that stage in her life?
Oh, like when she was awake.
Yeah, because the
Oh.
other one, I'm wondering, like, it sounds like there were a lot of tactile things that might have been influencing her, and so I wonder if, an understanding of your child at that time, if that might have had an impact as to how you could support somebody who's going through it.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's more trial by fire
Okay.
because when they're having them when they're that young, it's
Mhm.
very hard to get into what the heck is going on inside of there because
Yeah.
their little brains are so young. And children sometimes tell you what you want to hear
Right.
because they hear the way you're talking to them,
Yeah.
and they're very smart little creatures.
Yeah.
Very, very smart. But and I guess that's true. And that's why they chose me as a mommy too, because they
Yeah.
knew they would have to go through these things, and they didn't want to get put through psychotherapy or a drug. But I
Yeah.
knew people who did
Yeah.
because I knew other people who had children with night terrors, and they did go through the psychotherapy thing and
Mhm.
such. And I thought, oh wow, wow. But that's everybody's different. Everyone responds differently. But you're right that my first child, you can talk anything to her. She actually talks
Mhm.
endlessly still. And my second child, yeah, you're right. I couldn't actually dress that child
Yep.
for 6 months of her life. I would actually just have to put her in a diaper in her car seat. And I put her clothes beside her and say, okay, when you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, child's nuts. I love her. Yeah. Not
That's
why.
awesome. Well, thank you for the question,
Yes,
Chris.
thank you, Chris. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I hope I answered it.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounded really thorough to me, so my
Yeah,
hope is
yeah,
there
been
too.
through that, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Terrible.
And hello to Brenda and Julia. You are welcome. And
Yeah.
welcome to Guy. Thank you for joining us. It's wonderful to see you.
Hello, Key.
And we've got Verna here. So Verna's asking, what does that mean when you're driving and all of a sudden you're somewhere else in your mind? Is that time traveling? Oh, I
Oh.
nearly went into a ditch until my partner yelled at me. It felt like I was not in the vehicle. Wow, that's really intense. Do you want to start off with this one? What comes
Well,
up
the
for
first thing I
you?
get is out of body experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's been pulled out of it. And I've had that, but it's been at times when, oh, thank God they pulled me out of that.
Yeah.
So what the heck was going on, Berna?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you
That's exactly where I would have gone as well. Is it feels like it was an out of body experience. I know for myself, driving is definitely one of the times when I will receive a lot of messages. Not usually so much while I'm in traffic. Usually it happens more driving on the highway when the highway is clear, and so there are things that are coming up. But yeah, I would certainly say that it does feel like it was out of body experience. A time could certainly have been part of it too.
Yeah, and actually what also comes to my head is my cousin passed away in
Mhm.
a car accident.
Mm.
And he used to come and go, "Bloop," and put himself right in front of me when I was driving.
Mhm.
So I
Oh.
can't imagine, would it be weird that if Verna was driving by this particular spot, or if it was somebody that she knew and that veered her off?
Yeah, could
But
be.
when I first read it as well, it reminded me of when we used to do the fairs at Country Club Mall,
Yeah.
and I would look around Country Club Mall and think, this wasn't always a mall.
Right.
And I would see where it used to be. It's like
Yeah.
the street behind me. I
Yeah.
see that street and go, yeah, nope, never would live on this street because I see what
Yep.
it used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I go blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
back and forth
yeah.
with that one, Verna. Yeah,
Well,
I would say, hey, thank you for the message. Don't kill me. That's what I would say.
right, right, and so possibly even portal activity at that point too.
Yeah, be
Very
careful of
interesting.
yeah, yeah, and tell them to watch out for your physical being, that you need not to go into ditches.
Yeah, exactly, and, that's one of the things that deceased loved ones really seem to forget because because they don't have physical body
Only
anymore.
they don't care.
Yeah, okay, alright, you can go that perspective too.
It's like, I'm coming when I'm coming, and I'm coming.
Or this is when I have the energy, you have to be ready.
Yes. You know how hard
Yeah,
it is to do this? Yeah.
yeah,
They say that to me all the time. Do you know how hard this is? Yes, I do.
yeah, yeah.
I can
So,
feel your
Verna,
fatigue.
with that experience that you'd have, I'd encourage you to really ground yourself before you go driving, particularly if you're driving on your own, and
Mhm.
ask your helpers and guides to help keep you present in your body while you're operating heavy machinery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm like a cough syrup medicine right now. Oh,
You
yeah.
almost should explain that one. It's the moon.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Erin's moon time.
And
Sorry. I
I was
don't get a
laughing.
moon time
Come on,
anymore,
Bobby.
dadgummit. I took my moon time away. But I still get it, but I don't get it.
Just in a different way.
Yeah, I know I have PMS
Yeah.
because I can see the other females near me. I go, "Oh, that's why I want the chocolate and I need to kill people." I get it. Okay. I still get that.
Awesome. We've got Mo joining us on YouTube saying that they're at work right now and need a break. Well, thank you
You
for
oh,
joining us,
yeah.
Mo.
I hope you like your work.
Yeah, yeah. And I hope that, a break with us helps to make it easier to get back to it. That sounds kind of weird. Maybe a break with us, maybe that just really illustrates, that work isn't as bad. Oh my gosh. Harmony, hi, thanks for joining us. And Carrie says that she embarrasses her kids for fun at times.
Oh, mhm.
I think that's probably one of the benefits of being a parent.
Oh, yeah, yeah, but I have one kid who gets right in on the embarrassing with me. I bet you know who that is.
Yeah.
Yes, Erin reads my son, and my son is just as as me. He will dance in the grocery store with me. Yeah, he's got mommy's cuckoo.
I love your son. He's awesome.
Yeah, he is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of him too.
Jerry says that her kids are older than us, but that she will leave them all of her crystals. Oh, and they have to come back and haunt them. Oh
Atta
my
girl,
gosh.
yeah, you will. Yeah, you
That's
will.
awesome, Jerry.
That's what I tell my husband.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be an urn in the bed next to you, on the pillow next to you, and every time you move it, I'm haunting the shit out of you. That's what I tell him.
It's gonna make dating really awkward.
Oh, yeah, but he's not allowed after me.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
One and done.
The one and done, he's gonna become a monk, celibate.
Yeah.
So that's that. Sorry.
Beautiful.
What a
Awesome.
great name, Bobbi.
Yeah, I know. We've got another Bobby on this evening. It's great to see you. Oh, okay. So JC has asked, JC was asking about the star person.
I
Um,
see.
I asked because this person who sees things says, "Oh, you're a star person like me, and my grandson is too," she says. Awesome. Well, it sounds like she might be a really great resource to find out more information about
Yeah,
star
see, what the heck
people.
do you mean by that, young lady?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Because
because
it
they're
could just be a terminology. Like Carrie
Mhm.
underneath says start seed, and I've heard that one too.
Yep, I've heard
So which
starseed
one?
as well. Yep.
And I kind of think that she's talking about the Pleiadians and Arcturians. I think
It
that's what she's talking about, that she feels, JC, that you are actually from another galaxy, I
mhm.
guess,
That's
or
possible.
planet, space, space in space, place in space,
Yep. Yeah.
place in space.
Yeah, because there are all sorts of different energies that we can come from. We can come from energies who have had many, like souls who have had many lives here before. We can, like, they're incarnated angels and incarnated fairies and all sorts of different realms. And yes, now that I'm going through it, yeah, there are star people that are also included in that as well.
And I would. It's such a tough thing. Well, actually, you know what? Get more into you.
Mhm.
Maybe she's right. Maybe she saw something that she's misinterpreting and putting into the star thing. But honestly, do some meditation and hang out with yourself a little bit, and then you'll actually and see what you're interested in. And when you start doing that, they actually start going, oh, here, and they start
Mhm.
adding to it because they want you to do that too, because
Yeah.
it helps everyone.
Well, and can also help to put you on the path to find out more about, yeah, where you're coming from. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
if
really marked how much more grounded I am right
yeah.
now because I'm holding this in my hand. Just if anybody out there thinks, oh, crystals are nothing, fire.
I think you need to have a chat with Jerry's kids, Bobby.
I do. I need to sit down with those boys.
That's right. Tell
Oh
them
yeah,
that's
stick me on your kids, Jerry. I'll give them.
awesome. Michelle, thank you for
It's
joining
in
us. Michelle here
Kansas.
from Kansas.
Oh, that just reminds me of this.
Oh, what do you have? I can't see it.
It's the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. It's my next video.
Beautiful.
My
Oh,
theories on this book is my next video.
amazing. I love it.
I've been slacking my videos lately because I'm in
Yeah,
you know, this
I do.
whole last 2 weeks just been like,
Energy's been,
yeah,
yeah.
it's been like a manic.
Yeah, and just a need to balance out. There's
Yeah.
so much need to
Oh, maybe
balance.
I'm menstruating with you.
It could be.
It could very well be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Our
Thoughts, feelings,
sinkles have
anyway.
spiked. Hello to Kareen. It's always great to see
Hello,
you.
Corrine. Yeah. Is
Okay,
this
so
grounding crystal or stone? Oh,
yeah.
that's funny, Bobby. It actually depends on the person, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it really depends because there are so many grounding
So
crystals.
many. Yeah.
So what's the one that you have there?
This, I believe, is obsidian.
Yeah, obsidian's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, I like it. I really like hematite as well because I
Mhm.
like the metallic-ness of hematite, and I love to wear
Yep.
hematite rings, but I
Yeah.
break them
Right.
because I have a tendency to tap them.
Right.
Garnet
Mhm.
and tourmaline is the one they always tell me to give like tourmaline is, oh
Black
crap, we need some
tourmaline.
tourmaline here.
Yep,
It's the heavy duty
that's
guy.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're
Black
all,
tourmaline,
yeah.
shungite.
Oh yeah, because
Mhm.
there's pink tourmaline as well.
There are lots of different
There's
tourmalines.
tons of different criteria.
Yeah. Yeah, so black tourmaline is particularly grounding, labradorite is really grounding, garnet, as you said, is
I
a
did
really good
not
one.
know labradorite was grounding. I
Oh,
thought that was third eye inducing and money.
it
Oh, money
it
is grounding.
can be. It can be,
Oh,
but labradorite is also very grounding, and it's a really great protection stone as well. Yeah, there are so many. And one thing that I found through the Reiki work that I used to do with pregnant women was that they ground through their sacral chakras rather than through their root chakras. So sacral, yeah, like
yeah.
carnelian, pink
You're grounding for two.
moonstone.
It came out and I didn't even recognize how cool it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also too, I find visualization very grounding, especially for a
Mhm.
person like myself. And I've
Mhm.
talked about my big crystal coming out of my butt and my tree roots. Yeah. So sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
or even dirt. Just visualize your toes in the dirt.
Yeah.
I will do that
Yeah.
too.
One of my favorite grounding visualizations is seeing like the roots growing out of my feet and like
Mm.
spreading right out, but also the earth like holding it. I don't know. You have kind of some curl in your hair, and one of the things that I absolutely love watching is
Oh, I thought
people
you were
who have curly hair doing the scrunch.
oh, yeah.
I love that. The scrunch up. And that's kind of what I see the earth doing. Is it kind of like it scrunches up and it holds and supports your
Oh,
roots.
that's
So
very cool.
sometimes my visualizations are a little bit
Yeah,
weird. I,
because I don't that this is not grounding.
yeah. No. But if
But
it's your
cool.
roots, it is.
It's in my roots. Yeah, in my roots. Yes. Okie dokie. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, yeah, it's like when my husband does healings on me. He sees himself as a tree.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, and that makes, I can certainly see that. That makes a huge amount of sense. He has such a beautiful connection to trees too.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh man. So, so we've got Pat here, and Pat saying I'd have to be doing a doer meditation for sure. Multitasking as I listen to you too. Yeah, I don't blame you. I have a hard time sitting and listening too.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Yeah. I got to do something while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Well, and partly too, because I think this is a lady thing.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting and listening, I feel okay, I should be doing something.
Yeah.
I am wasting my time doing something just for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do
So that
something that's
again, there's
productive.
that part too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like to listen to things while I'm cleaning, while I'm painting. I don't paint often, but when I do paint, I like to listen to things. And
Mhm.
on long drives in the car too. I really
Mm.
like to listen to podcasts or audiobooks or whatever.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
listening to Ascent of the Alchemist right now.
Yeah. And so Pat says, I'm not sure what I'm looking to pick up here. Angel help. Do I need help? Well, one of the things that I think is always really helpful for people is calling in their angels anytime they're needing a bit
Perfect.
of help and support, and just to kind of do a check-in, like, hey,
That's
how's
so funny
how's it
because I saw
going?
it just before you said it. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, how do I look today? how does how does my energy look today? Am I going to bring the best to the world today?
Yes, yeah, yeah. Like you're going to your general practitioner and they actually are going to tell you something. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I love this. Jerry's saying practice qigong and you will raise your energy. Yeah,
That's true.
absolutely.
Yeah. Like yeah,
Qigong
and
is a
yoga
wonderful
too.
practice.
I see qigong, yoga, and tai chi.
Yeah.
But qigong is most. I've heard it's actually more of a movement of energy
Hmm.
thing than
Yeah. I've had limited experience with it, but it's about the movement and the flow of energy within the body. And I mean, that's a wonderful way to get in touch with yourself too. Yeah.
okay. Oh, Chris has them for as an adult, and
Yeah.
Pat
And
has your
that's
older son. The night terror's back again.
yeah, that's what Pat's saying too. Interesting.
Interesting.
So,
So having them as an adult, yeah, yeah. Different night terrors are different than nightmares, though.
okay.
Uh, Because
Yeah.
with night terrors, people actually walk around. They talk to you. They kind
Right.
of look past you. They appear to be awake.
Oh, okay. So almost like a sleepwalking, but in
Yeah,
a terror
almost.
state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember my nephew, he has night terrors, and he was having one as a teenager, and
Yeah.
my sister didn't know. She walked out to him, and she said, "What are you doing?" And he turned around and he looked at her and goes, "Oh my god!" She's like,
What?
"What? What?" Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, do you walk around? It's interesting, and they
Mhm.
honestly, I
So part of what I'm wondering with the experience as an adult is I'm actually hearing that there might be an entity that has attached itself to you. So part of what I would encourage you to do, again, like I work with angels, I find them really helpful and supportive, is to call in your angels. And the way that I would do that is create space for yourself. So finding either a comfortable place and space inside, or if you have a place that's a powerful place for you to go outside in nature, go to that place and create the space in that time and call in angels and ask them for help and support in clearing anything that might be attached to you from an energetic point of view. Ask it that it be released and that it be transmuted into love, that it no longer has an impact on you. I would, in addition to that, ask for clearing, or to do clearing, energy clearing in the space that you sleep, to make sure that there isn't anything that's residual there. And then I would call in and ask your angels for support in helping you to sleep thoroughly through the night. And if there is some sort of message or reason that this is coming up, that it come to you in a way that is peaceful, loving, nurturing, and caring, so that you don't have to continue to go through this experience, but that you can bypass that experience to gain whatever lesson is there, if there is a lesson.
Yes, and
Does
I
that
would
make
actually
sense?
further too with the same
Yeah.
idea, but
Yeah.
possibly a difference, because I actually, before you started talking, heard unfinished business,
Mm-hmm.
which is always an earthbound thing.
Right.
If it's because, and then they showed me my daughter, it within the entity idea.
Yeah.
I would also double check to see if you smell rotting vegetables in your house or cold air. Wafts
Mm.
of rotting vegetables, wafts of cold
Mhm.
air. Because
Mhm.
further to what Erin's saying, it could even be an earthbound
Yeah.
that is playing with you when you're asleep.
Right.
As they can do. I have
Mhm.
been careless with my
Mhm.
cleaning before
Right.
and
Yep.
ended up having terrible nightmares that I'm being
Yep.
chased or I'm hiding or something like that. And then I realize when I wake up, I still feel this way. What the
Right.
heck?
Right.
And then realizing, oh, I allowed someone to stay beyond their time, and then something else got distorted, and then something else came in, and I've had to, like, they'll, yeah. So, yeah,
Clear it
I
out.
would be conscious of all parts of it.
Yeah.
That's I think we've just made more questions.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. And as you're talking about that, I'm hearing and feeling the need for sea salt bath as well, because sea salt clears your energy. I mean, the other aspect, or the other option too, is to take a dip in the ocean if that's available to you. Bobby and I live on Vancouver Island, so there's lots of opportunity to pop into the
I'm not
Pacific Ocean here.
in the ocean
Um,
right
but
now.
but yeah, some people are a little more landlocked than we are, and so
Yeah,
dipping into the ocean is not necessarily an option. But yeah, any sort of salt, Epsom salt works, but sea salt, if you can get it, ideally. Dead sea salt, if you can, is really good for clearing out lower energies, where Himalayan salt actually raises your energy and vibration. So I mean, that could be helpful, but to me, I'd see like a deep cleansing, scrubbing kind of action.
that makes sense. Yeah, she or he, because Chris,
Yep.
androgynous name,
Yeah.
but, they can put some salt underneath their bed, and that
Yeah.
absorbs it. Because I've been told to do that for people who have much more vibration than they think they do.
Right.
Because some
Yeah.
people actually attract earthbounds,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
they're
that's
kind
true.
of poopy faces. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to attract them. Well, I do, but
Well, but more from a healing point of view, as
yes,
opposed to
I
I wanna hang out with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I have my people that will protect me from that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh,
So
it could be that too.
yeah. Yeah. So
Not your day, folks.
call in your helpers and your supporters. Like
Yeah,
if you're
you're
not
not
drawn to
alone.
working with angels, that's totally okay. You can call in your deceased loved ones on the other side. You can ask them if they would be open to helping you. If you work with any sort of ascended
Yeah.
master, you can call on them, God, source,
And doing all
universe.
that work will
Yeah.
actually, maybe they're actually trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like with the pain sensors.
Mhm.
It's actually messages, but
Mhm.
it's foreign. So I go, ah, that must be pain.
Right.
Because as soon as I start seeing it as a message, it's not as painful.
Mhm.
It just feels like an opening.
Yeah.
So yeah, could be something
Beautiful.
like that. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris and Pat.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Chris and Pat. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
No,
I'm
I know.
I'm We've got Starling, and Starling's asking a question. What about battle? Rolling off the BG, down screaming, move, 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 the train move. My daughter has done this. Okay, so first of all, hi, Starling. I'm so glad that you're joining us. Starling saying
Yes.
that she's joining us from Athens, Georgia. Hello, welcome.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
kind of wondering if this is a dream
Oh, very.
experience. I'm kind of wondering, like, experiencing battle during dream time and rolling and screaming and move and the train and Starling saying that her daughter has done this as well.
Okay.
I'm kind of wondering. Oh, and I just noticed, our time here on the West Coast is 4:44, um, and multiple fours like that, it's all about the angels being with you, helping you, and supporting you, at least that's my experience with it, so I just wanna say, like, I'm gonna add that into, where Starling is right now, that there's help and support that's available to you and to your daughter too.
And I noticed that she wrote in at 4:20, which
Oh,
means
did she?
me.
Which which also on the West Coast has a lot of meaning too.
Sorry, Starling.
Yeah.
Yes. My daughter has yeah, maybe yeah, she might be talking about her daughter's night terrors.
I'm kind of wondering.
And
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
actually be a past life experience, something that traumatized her so much, keeps reliving it
Yeah.
because or actually it could be that she's reliving it for someone else.
Well, and that was actually where I was gonna go as soon as you mentioned past life experience. The experience that I've had with guides and my spirit, or pardon me, my experience is more limited than Bobby's, but what I've seen is that often our guides are, with us during a lifetime, and then they're born into the world. It's almost like being in that guide space is preparing to come into the reality of the physical world.
Oh, wow.
So you have more experience than I do. How does that feel for you?
It makes sense. I always I think that would be a demotion myself because I always see them as they are actually completing a contract as well.
Right?
And I do see them, but they are higher than me because they are not fettered by minds.
Right.
So that it could maybe they do get the demo. Maybe actually, if I don't complete my tasks, they're like,
Right?
oh, we have to go back down there. Not me.
You gotta go back down.
They love it.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
and
guys
I mean,
are well enough.
for me, most of that came from experiences with people having had past life experiences that were really recent, like having past life experience in Holocaust, which was within the last 80 or so years.
400
And
years. Yeah.
yeah, and typically we don't reincarnate that often. That said, I mean, like time is a human construct. But my what I was seeing for these people was that they had the experience of being in the Holocaust because they were guide and because they were there helping and supporting people who were in it, and then reincarnated and came into the world, and it's like, oh wow, and I've got all of this extra stuff that I'm holding on to.
That's interesting because I often go blah, 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 blah with these theories of
Mhm.
who knows if we actually reincarnate into what we see as the future.
Right. We could
What if they
reincarnate in the
actually pop
past.
us back into times like that and time because there's a lesson that needs to be learned or we're needed or but then my
Mhm.
brain starts to go because wow,
Ping
how does that make
pong.
any dang sense? Because then you start getting logical, it's like, no.
Yeah,
Well, if you are getting logical, none of this exists.
right?
There is no logic to what we do, but there is massive logic. It's just not.
Mhm.
I actually heard small-minded logic, which is rude.
Who do you
Wait,
have with you today, Bobby?
I don't know. Maybe I just think they're being rude, but yeah. Who do you have with you today, Bobby?
Awesome, awesome. So I'm just kind of flipping down to JC. I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to because we've talked a couple of times about a couple of different aspects. So if you want to be specific in what you're asking about with regards to Starseed, then I feel like we can do a better job of
Yes,
answering
I'm
the
sorry.
question that you have. So yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. And Verna, ground, ground, ground. That's great.
Yes, had a girl, had a woman.
That's
No one
right.
offend.
That's right.
No one offend. You're not a girl. No one say had a boy. Yeah, you would. Anyway, yes.
I would. We've got Brenda. So are our guides our loved ones that have passed? I so want to know how many I have and their names. So I feel like this is a Bobby question.
Okey-dokey. And as far as I know, they are not your loved ones who have passed because they have been your guides since you were born. And your loved ones who have passed are them. And guides are, I have seen things where they are from past lives and they know you that way, they're soul to soul knowing. But other than that, this is kind of like a in service thing. And how many you have, ask them. I love the idea of, because they told it to me, of using worry dolls, using something else to personify your spirit guides, and then ask them to come to you in your dreams and actually tell you about things, because it's actually how I met my first one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very
Whose
cool.
name is Erin.
No.
But it's Arron. And we had to shorten it to that because I said, "What's your name?" And I was like, I speak no Russian, so because it was very old, so it had all these consonants in it, and I couldn't possibly. So we got. They all have funny little names because of that. Yeah, all of mine do. Yeah, and I meet them through salt baths, meditation time,
and
sleeping time.
Cool.
Those are the times I meet them. Yeah, and just don't doubt them. If it looks like you have 30, you're a mess. You might have 30.
Now, so what are your feelings on having guides at different times that come into your life to help and support you through certain or specific things?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because I actually even see each guide as another representation of a part of your personality.
Right.
And there are certain ones I have grown with my guides, and certain ones will work with different parts of my readings than others. And some are just focused on me.
Cool.
But mostly, for the most part, we are all here to do this. I'm just the one you see.
Right.
And hear.
Very cool. I love it. Yeah. I am always hesitant to bring forth names for guides, and people have asked me to name their angels as well, to find out the names. And for me, that feels like a really disempowering thing to do for you, because there's such a beautiful opportunity for you to get to know them. So I would add that on top of everything that Bobbi has said, and allow this to be a really beautiful part of your own journey, rather than giving that part of that journey to somebody else. It's kind of like going on a roller coaster that you're really excited to go on, and you say to the person in front of you, well, why don't you go on the first third of it, and then I'll just hop on after.
That's funny. My example was, it's like having someone else name your boobs.
Okay, well, I mean, to be fair, I had a partner who wanted to name them. Okay, I don't feel that would.
No one's going to accept a name that they don't understand. But yeah, it's very personal to you. It is. Yes, it's a part of you. They are a part of you. Yes,
that's right. That's right. But join us next week, where Bobbi and I will be naming our boobs on the show. So.
Don't make promises I can't keep. They're not twins anymore. I used to call them twins.
Now they're outgrowing each other.
No, this one doesn't even want to have anything to do with that one, because they're breastfed. So.
Sounds like twins to me. My best friends
here, the other one's going over here. It's terrible.
Anyway, my best friends growing up were twins, and they hated each other for so long.
Let's keep calling them the twins. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds like twins. Awesome. So we got Harmony. Harmony saying, my father-in-law is dreaming about seeing people that have passed. My mother-in-law asked me if he's getting ready to pass. I think it's spirit welcoming him. What are your thoughts?
If he's sick and actually thinks he might pass, it might be on his brain, and therefore that is why that is happening. Because if he thinks he's anywhere close to it, or feels that he could go at any time, he's just opening that up, because we can all see our own dead. We just don't know we can, so therefore we don't. So if he thinks that he might be dying, that could be what's happening. Or the people on the other side don't know when someone's going to pass. They are not privy to that information. They know what the wait list is. Actually, it's like 20th over here, and that means you can pass at any time. But anyone could pass at any time. if that
Mhm.
makes sense. But yeah, I wouldn't put I wouldn't move it into that thought. I would think actually maybe something better and bigger is maybe happening for your father-in-law. Would you agree?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have seen people coming up and around, as people are getting ready to pass, but I also see them coming in really strongly at other times too, like when there's a challenge or when a person's really open. So yeah, I would completely agree that it doesn't feel like it's necessarily, because he's getting ready to pass
Yeah.
and to cross over.
Well, and
Um,
his passing is just a transition, so he could be transitioning in a different kind of way.
yeah.
Maybe he's becoming more spiritual. I know we all are
Mhm.
in a very
Yeah.
yeah, and I want that to continue. I kinda get
Absolutely.
stagnated for a little minute there.
I mean, the more that we focus on a bigger global level on peace, on love, on our
Sense of
own
consciousness.
self, yeah, consciousness, then we automatically raise the energy and the vibration, the consciousness on a
Mhm.
bigger, larger level.
Yeah, yeah. That's why when at the beginning of lockdown, everyone was so much more psychic. It's
Yeah,
because everyone was thinking about the same thing.
yeah,
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 and
we
that,
were working
and
together.
everyone was freaked out. So that helped too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't move the dish because the humans will freak out. I'm gonna eat now. Okay. Yeah, and Jerry,
Awesome.
put the salt chunk in like a bowl or something because it will most likely turn to water underneath your bed.
Yeah, I have that issue too with my salt lamps. If
Oh.
they aren't on in my home, then they start to melt. So if you have
Yeah.
high water concentration in your air, yeah, maybe have a salt lamp instead.
Well, I find that's where the vibration is. I can't have salt lamps where I do readings. They turn to water.
Oh,
But I can have them
really?
in other parts of the house because I use them to clear the energy to protect my family from me. Yeah,
Interesting.
I turn them to water though in the studios. I even turned one to water outside.
Well, hold on a half a second. I've got mine right here. One of mine. Let me see.
But that one's electric.
Oh, I
They
see what
don't
you're
know.
saying. Yes,
Yeah,
because it's always on. Yeah, it's this one's good, but the other ones, if they're not on, they are not good.
yeah, they turn to water.
Yeah.
And Harm says they're at the end of his bed. Huh, he's opening then. Yeah,
Interesting.
that's where I see them too,
Cool,
and I'm not
cool.
going anywhere.
Oh, and Chris is also saying it's Christine. Thank you.
Ah, hello, Christine. You're a lady. I thought you were a lady. I just wanna make sure, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I was almost hoping you were a boy, to be perfectly honest. Look at that, there was a boy.
We've been really
Ah,
fortunate. I think we've had a couple of men on this evening, which is
I
really
actually I
exciting.
think we have 2,
Yeah,
actually. More
and
men.
we didn't even advertise the boob thing, so that was pretty great.
Oh, yeah, maybe they're men that aren't into boobs.
Well, that's very true. That was very presumptuous of me. Yeah.
Dang it, Erin. Ah,
Yeah.
okie
Oh,
dokie.
oh, I see, I see. Okay, so Starling has brought us a bit more information. I'm not exactly sure where we are. I was just kind of following along where I thought you were. And Starling saying my son's dad died, was hit by a train. I don't know this for sure, but she had this happen a year later or so after he died. Coincidence. Okay, so I think that we are going into a dream or some sort of experience
Yeah,
where the train, yeah, and so that almost sounds like that could be, the father or the son's father coming through and confirming what happened, especially if there's any sort of question
yeah,
about.
especially if the little
Yeah.
girl is the youngest member of the family.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Something about being the youngest member, it's like you're dangling off the end of the herd,
Yeah.
and they can get you because
Or
you're a baby.
or the most open. I'm
Or
hearing
the
that
most open, that's
too.
a much
Yeah.
better way of putting it.
The
They can get ya.
most open. All right, little one, we have to hold on to you.
Yeah, I don't think it is a coincidence.
Yeah.
But I would actually either put salt under her bed or put something on her, like just as a pretensy little grounding on her feet, and then ask whoever you know that you love. Actually, this is your son's dad. Tell him, don't scare the child.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Yeah,
If
that
you
was
got
gonna
something
be.
to say it to me. Tell him that, please, Starling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was actually going to be what I was gonna say too. Because it sounds like you've identified likely where it's coming from. So I would
Mhm.
talk to him and say, okay, well, we understand that you were trying to get this message through, but it's not appropriate to come through this
Yeah.
person's child.
But
It needs to
sometimes
come
they
through
just
another way.
they want it through so bad that they
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that happened to me when a member of my husband's family passed away.
Mhm.
Very upset about what was going on. She nearly broke my brain. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was, "Don't do
Yeah.
that. Please don't do that." Okay, yeah. Okay,
And
okay.
surround your child, your daughter with some love and support and
Like,
call on angels. Yeah.
yeah, get
Yeah.
with those angels, man.
Absolutely.
They are the
Absolutely.
shiznit.
Yeah. Hi, Connie. Thanks for joining us. I'm so
Connie.
glad that you joined us too.
One of these days she will join us.
Yes, yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. We will need to come to a point in place where we have other people coming on and joining us.
Yes, yes,
So,
we want to do that. We want
yeah,
to, yeah. And even it doesn't even have to be readers. Like
yeah.
the necklace I'm wearing is
Mhm.
made by a beautiful artisan who is actually with us right now, or was at some point.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, we want to promote because it's not
Yeah.
just what this is all part of everything.
Yeah.
Like I need Carrie for these.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, the minute I saw, I was like, oh, that must be mine.
Yeah.
That's an angel
Yeah,
one
I've
with
got
the
some
chakras on
beautiful.
it. It's like she made it for me.
I know. I know. Carrie's pretty amazing. I love all of the pieces that I've gotten from her too.
Yeah, yeah, very, very amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so
Like,
Brenda's saying, oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh no, that I was moving forward like you were moving forward.
Okay.
And
Okay,
I
awesome.
have to admit,
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a little sparkly in the head.
Okay. All right.
I don't think I've ever said it like that before.
No, but I hear what you're saying. We are at the hour and a half mark. I'm feeling the need to just quickly take a look
Go
at
through.
what Brenda has said, and then shall we? Yeah?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, and everything, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So Brenda said,
Carrie's twins don't wanna have anything to do with each other either.
yeah.
Sorry.
Awesome. So
It's what
yeah,
come
so
up with
Brenda's
me.
saying, I do ask, but I was thinking, I just don't know how to do it. Thank you. I believe they are with me. I just wish I could see and feel them,
Mm.
and sure need them today. So yeah, so
Yeah. Well, it's
yeah.
tough because you can see and feel them. It's just you kind of are used to human see and feel.
Mhm.
That's yeah, that's the how and it's funny too, because when I say to my dad, "Hug me,"
Yeah.
I do feel the hug, but I have to help him with the
Mhm.
hug. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Believe.
Yeah, when you're saying that, part of what I'm hearing and seeing is getting out into nature. So whether that's going for a walk or finding a comfortable place to sit in a garden and asking your spirit guides to show you that they're there with you. And then anything that happens from that point forward while you're there, anything that you notice is your guides letting you know that they're there and they're around. So a butterfly comes in, cool. That's your guide letting you know that they're there. Hummingbird comes in, they're letting you know that they're there.
Yeah, and even with those 2, if I saw a butterfly, I'd say, "Oh, it's a transformation time." If I saw a
Mhm,
hummingbird, "Oh, it's about love and partnership." Yeah, that's
mhm.
that's where I would go with those 2 things. So, yeah,
Yeah.
because they know what it means to you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you create the space for that, you put yourself in that place and in that space and you say, "Okay, what is it that I need to know? How can you show me that you're here?" And then anything that happens in that time is them showing you that they're there or they're delivering that message that you need. And I love where you went with that too, with transformation and love. So,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
yeah. Awesome. Well,
Whew.
how are you doing, Bobby? Shall
Okay.
we shall
Like,
we
physically actually hurts, like I bruised something in there.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. I did 3 reading I always do 3 readings before we do this because I like to be primed, and because 'cause I'm a glutton for punishment, because
I
'cause I'm
was
still part
just
of that.
gonna say that's
Yep,
exactly what I heard too. Bobby is
glutton
a
for
glutton for
punishment. Yeah, yeah,
punishment.
yeah. No, I still am working on the "Bobby, you deserve to rest" thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually but yeah, I only have 1 well, I guess I have more than 1 job. My whole life, I've already had 2 to 4 jobs
Yeah. And on
because
the go.
yeah, I'm a little bit yeah, and I actually shouldn't be.
We learn something new about ourselves every day.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I can change it.
But you know, and knowing is half the battle.
Knowing is half the battle. I've identified the problem, and here we go from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I'm just really quickly noticing Elizabeth's question here that's bouncing back to one of the things we asked. I want to quickly address that. The whole reason for the salt is that it dissipates negative energy. So that's why you use like a sea salt bath, or you put salt under the bed, is because it dissipates
I
negative
see.
energy. And that actually goes back to pagan and Wiccan traditions as well. I know that there are some places where you will throw salt over your shoulder before
Mhm.
having a meal, and that's to ward off evil. So yeah, salt shifts things, and then like salt lamps absorb positive energy, and you're actually, from this energetic point of view, you're wanting negative energy. I know it seems a little counterintuitive, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and I use them when I clear houses of ghosts
Yeah.
and spirits. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
I
all about
actually
clearing.
Elizabeth, there's another Elizabeth, and she says
Okay.
she's worried all the time.
Sorry.
She says she's worried all the time
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
But it might, yeah, don't worry.
Mm.
Because if you worry, the thing you're worrying about will become a thing.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
there was more. She wanted to know who was guiding her and things like that. But
Okay. Yeah, I totally missed that. And that's one of the unfortunate things with any of the live streaming that we do. Sometimes the messages don't come through on the platform. So,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And
Oh,
I don't know why. I just
I'm
wanted
glad.
to say that to her. Please don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just know that it's good.
Well, we've come to the end of our time together this evening.
Yes, and we're sorry if we didn't get to you,
Mhm. But
but
we are really grateful that you joined us.
we'll be back.
No, Bobbi will be back. I'll be Mozart. All right. And on that amazing dad joke.
That was really good. Actually, I'm a big Vivaldi fan, so can I be Vivaldi?
All right. Okay.
Four seasons. Anyway. Yeah,
All
we
right.
will be back, and we'll let you know when we're going to come back.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So pay attention to our Facebook pages. So my Heavenly Messenger page, Bobbi's Spiritual Medium page, the Universal Connections page on Facebook, as well as our YouTube channels. We will be sure to have information there as well. All right. Shall we namaste ourselves out?
Okie dokie. All right, and thank you, Jose.
Yeah, Joseph is always so good. Be back. Oh, I'm late.
You're acting like Bobbi.
I know.
We need you to
Okay, let's start that again.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Namaste. I don't know. Like for the first time tonight, I haven't been able to be serious. So thank you,
good.
everybody, for joining
Thank
us.
you, everyone. It's good for Erin to not be serious.
Right?
Yes. I never, ever, ever am.
I know.
When I'm being serious, I don't seem serious. Bye.
See you next time.